I said to my male friend, do you want to walk them to the station? And he had this look on his face like, why do I need to walk them? Like, they're grown women, right?
You might be saying something else and she's hearing something else. And to you, it's like plain simple. This is what I mean. To her, she's heard 300 things. You said she's heard, can I walk into the station? She's heard 2, 3, 4. She's heard like 5 other things after that. So her brain like is wired to like walk. And she's gone mild. I watched cars growing up, like I enjoyed it. And I'm from a family of 3 girls, and I've never heard my dad like pant or want for a boy. Like it wasn't something that we grew up to know. We had conversations of my dad even fighting to say that.
Hi guys, my name is Fokwe Adiola and this is As a Guy. On today's episode, we will be talking about something quite juicy and interesting. So the topic is extreme feminism, and I'm sure every modern guy, every guy alive in this age has had that thought, like, why is feminism actually extreme today? And with me here to discuss this is Tamilore. Tamilore is my friend. We met like 2 years ago in advertising and marketing. Well, I studied advertising and marketing. We met in a marketing class. What's the name of that course again? What's her name taught?
Bianca?
Bianca taught, yeah. What's the name of the course?
It's not marketing management? Yeah, like...
Yeah, marketing in action or something.
Marketing management in action.
Yeah, exactly. That course. So that's where we met, and we've been friends ever since. We also work together on campus, student ambassadors.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've been good friends since. I feel like we have good conversations together off camera, so hopefully it's also translates into camera. So yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. So tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, I know something major just happened in your life, but feel free to share it by yourself.
Okay, so like Fokwe said, my name is Tamilore. I'm married. I recently got married. That's like the major thing, yeah. But aside that, I'm a Christian. I love God, and I'm like in my learning journey. I feel like I'm in a phase where God is taking me through like a couple of learnings and stuff. And I necessarily would not like agree to something like this, but I kind of think like this is a setup, and I'm happy to be here. I hope that we have like a meaningful conversation and that it's useful for you whenever you're watching this.
Perfect. Thank you again. So you also still work in marketing, right?
Yes, I still work in marketing. I currently work as a marketing assistant with Connexon. It's a broadband telecoms company. We do broadband, we do IoT. We also have like an academy arm. So I kind of manage like the IoT team just to make sure that everything they churn out is like marketing, branding aligned and all of that. Do a bit of SEO here and there, a bit of website management, like backend, not coding or anything, please. Yeah, so really nice. Marketing is okay. I recently just realized that aside marketing as like a career kind of thing, more or less like we're supposed to be like marketers. Like I was reading something where it says that like the Great Commission, and I just saw like a post online which says that likening it to like God telling us that go, like tell everybody, like be my marketer, like as much as like be my public service announcer, like talk about me, like tell others about me, like be my signpost and all of that. And it's not something we do very often because we do not want to be labeled pastor. Yeah, so it's like something I'm coming out of, like expressing myself fully as a child of God, as a Christian, not having like a one-sided relationship where I just go to collect and ask for, but having a conversation where he can also tell me what he wants and I get to give him in service, in consecration, in devotion, and in all of that. Yeah, so just...
Amazing. And it's funny that you're bringing that up because, well, for me, I've been like transitioning from, yes, I love God and all that, but also God loves me.
Yeah.
If I changed I was telling somebody another episode that I changed my Instagram profile from lover of God to loved by God,
Oh my
right?
God,
Because
man.
that for me is more important, and it brings out that response that you're talking about as well. That now I can give even more to God than before, when I thought I had to
Yeah.
give, but now it's more motivated by God's love for me. And now my prayers are more, okay, what do you want to achieve in the kingdom? Rather than, okay, give me a new job or give me a new car, a new house and all that. So yeah, this is perfect.
Yeah.
And
It's a bit hard sometimes, but it's like what we should eventually like want to like do, because it's like two-sided. God loves me and I'm loved by God. And in as much as even to like people that we love here on earth, we have a responsibility towards them to do something for them, to help them out, to do all of that. And so why can't we reciprocate that same responsibility towards God?
Exactly.
Yeah. So my idea was, I didn't want to be termed as a churchy girl. I didn't want to be termed as pastor. I didn't want anybody to call me woman of God, that kind of thing. But necessarily, am I a woman of God? Yes, I'm chosen.
Exactly.
And all of that, yes. Yeah, so.
We all are children of God, so that's beautiful. So let's dive right into the conversation for today. And I think a good place to start is, so the other day we attended this big event at the First Direct Arena.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? First Arena. I think it was Joshua Selman's program. And after the event, my three girlfriends, well, three female friends. It's not like I have
Perfect
three girlfriends.
Please. Three female friends. Thank you.
Three female friends. So we met outside after, and one of my other male friends was there, and they were both leaving Leeds and going back to Hull, I think. So I said to my male friend, do you want to walk them to the station? And he had this look on his face like, why do I need to walk them? Like, they're grown as women, right? And the girls still had that same reaction, like, we came here by ourselves. Why do I need a guy to, follow me? And actually, I don't know what was on their mind, but that was what I was reading of their faces. And I think generally there's that idea in the world now that, chivalry is not needed anymore. I don't need a guy to open the door for me or carry heavy luggage for me. I can do everything by myself. So what do you think about that? Like, why do you think that's happening these days?
I think it's just based off of how we've grown and how we've been taught that when a man gives you something, he wants something in return. So even when we say that that's not how I am, it's like hardwired in. It's what you've seen. You've watched it in movies, you've seen it around you, close relatives that probably has happened to, you've seen it growing up. So somehow it's in your subconscious. And when a man, a male counterpart, like offers you help, the first thing that comes to your mind is no. Because instinct-wise, you're like, what does he want in return? Or more like, why does he want to help me? Does he see me as weak? And it's just us trying to like just prove ourselves and look like, oh, I'm not weak. I can do it by myself. Like I can walk myself down. I can do all of these. But it also boils down to the fact of you saying that you realizing that God loves me and I love God, and understanding that I should also allow myself to be loved by others. So it's not necessarily that when someone offers me help, yes, I should be careful, but I should not always look at it in terms of what does he want in return? Does he want something that I might not be able to give him back in return? But just look at it in the perspective of, is he trying to render me help? Is it help that I can receive? Not necessarily do I have to give back. Yeah. And I'm not saying that just be like someone that receives and takes and takes and takes, but
all the time,
allow yourself to be loved and allow yourself to be looked after. Allow yourself to be cared for without having like a backhand thought of what do I want in return. And I think like for men also, sometimes the tone with which you say something or how you present it.
Even though we're trying to help.
Yeah, so you might be saying something else and she's hearing something else. And to you, it's like plain simple, this is what I mean. To her, she's heard 300 things. You've said, she's heard, can I walk you to the station? She's heard 2, 3, 4. She's heard like 5 other things after that.
Yeah.
But you just said, can I walk to the station? That's like the only thing you heard.
Mm-hmm.
So our brain like is wired to like walk, and she's gone miles.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just also like having that subconsciousness of, oh, I do not like necessarily have to go miles. And then has a guy trying to have the subconscious of, what are my intentions exactly? Yeah, like, I just want to walk you down. Like, I'm just being a gentleman. I'm just being a Jesus boy and just being a nice person. I have like I won't say like a brother. I call him my brother.
Mm-hmm.
But we met in school in fellowship and all of that. And he was chatting me up some days ago and saying that there's a female friend that he has, and she made a comment that is too nice.
Okay.
And it's strange to her because she's like, I know that you're going to snap one day, like, and I'll see your bad side.
Yeah.
And he came to me to say that it's like, oh, this is not going to be an issue, that I really don't have a problem with everything that she's saying. Like, and I'm like, just have to tell her again that, yeah, Jesus boy, I bought with the prize. Your mind is renewed and you've legit thought these things over and you've chosen a path. That's like the path of being nice. And she wants to accept it. She has to like subconsciously unlearn and relearn everything she knows about a man to then accept that there can be a male, especially that can be nice without intentions added.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That's an interesting perspective that I wasn't actually expecting, to be honest. I didn't think you were going to go that route. I was expecting something different, like something
like
about
what?
society. But this is also interesting, like the idea that there's this fear of what does the guy want, and that's why most or some ladies would refuse chivalry and help like that.
Yeah.
So what do you say to those who then take that and say, well, we should raise boys and girls to be able to do these things anyway? I mean, you've talked about being able to receive
love,
help, love, and all of that. Do you think that's a key part of being a woman, like being a receiver? And what do you say to people that say, well, both sexes should be able to do that anyway?
Well, both sexes should be able to do that. Like, as a man, you should be able to show love and receive love. As a woman, you should also be able to like show love and receive love. And it's not so. When God created man and female, based on my understanding of the scriptures and all of that, He created us equally.
Yeah.
And we have, I don't think like God played favoritism in the Bible at all. We had male men who did really great things for God, and we have like women who did like exceptional great things for God. Like Deborah, she was like my example. Like I know that like she's like one person that was highlighted when you mentioned like the feminism theme, and I'm like, if she was a lady and she had that much power like during her time that even the male counterparts, they identified that and came with her. And I think it was Barack that was like, if you will not go with me to war, I'm not even going to go.
Exactly.
Like that was not even a place of seeing that she was superior or anything. It was a place of understanding that we are supposed to complement one another. So as male and female, your strengths are not like supposed to like be superimposed on the other person either ways. But the reason why you have that uniqueness and those differences is so that you can complement one another and help one another. So it's just like the complement, like understanding that one person is not like in dominance over the other person, but our gifts, our giftings, and our abilities and all of that are just solely for complementing. And realizing that what we've known or what we've seen, either like at home or in family, like is not necessarily like the overall thing. And that's why like we should start it. Like make a decision yourself to say that I'm going to get married one day. I'm going to have children eventually if I want to. And this is what I want my male children to know. This is what I want my female children to know. I'm not going to superimpose to say that, oh, as a man, you do this and your sister doesn't get to do this. You wash the car and then the lady just washed the car. I washed cars growing up. Like I enjoyed it. And I'm from a family of 3 girls. And I've never heard my dad like pants or want for a boy. Like it wasn't something that we grew up to know. We had conversations of my dad even fighting to say that I don't want a male child. Like I'm okay with the three I have. They are equal as sons. Like you get. So we knew that. We knew that was not like necessarily an issue with him. So it was strange to grow up and then see that there are things that a man can do and a woman cannot do because what's that? Like and all of that. I don't know if I'm like able to like have I been able to like probably answer or put my thoughts together and just
I didn't even know you had that type of upbringing. I think you've told me you had two other sisters,
I have two other sisters.
I didn't know that was the type of upbringing you had. But I do have some codes, so I keep trying to clear my.
Yeah, so I have two sisters. We're all girls, but we're not like brought up to think that a man was like anything like super good or super nice. We're brought up to see them as like equals, like your boy and my girl. That's the only difference is that in like the physical attributes and all of that. But in terms of like mental progress and everything, what you can do, if I set my mind to it, I can also do it. And there's no competition per se. We should be able to work together to achieve something. Yeah.
So I saw this video of you've probably seen it with Chimamanda Adichie.
Yeah.
Talking about we should all be feminists.
We should all be feminists, yeah.
And I think I saw it like, I don't know, 5-8 years now ago. And I remember loving the video. I watched it over and over and over and over again. And I think what stayed with me was the idea that actually feminism is not just about the female child.
Yeah.
It's also about the male child. It's about that idea of that every child should be raised to live in society with all the skills necessary.
Yeah.
So cooking skills,
survival skills,
you know, everything they need to just live life to the best of their ability is what you should give your children.
Yeah.
But then I think to come back to our topic of extreme now, where would you say extremism starts now, especially in the, well, I want to say the West, but I feel like even Africa is
like we're getting there slowly. It's like small. It's entering us.
Exactly. Where does that extremism start?
So I think extremism starts when you like neglect the like initial reason like why feminism started, like equal rights for both men and women, and you have the idea that we don't even need men, like. Let's just do it with men, let women dominate. Like that's not the idea. And I don't even think that that's what like God wants in the first place. Yeah. And like I said, it's just like coming to the understanding that we're supposed to complement each other. So extreme feminism is, I've read that there are people that they're like, well, we don't even want men. Like, what do we need men for?
Exactly.
Like they can't just do without them. Like,
so by the way, I remember watching Wonder Woman Part 1, right? You know, there was that scene where Wonder Woman was like, well, to be fair, the Amazonians had not seen men before. So when they talked about some sexual things, and she was like, actually, we don't need men for pleasure as well.
Yeah, like, we're fine, we're all right. In the beginning, God created man and woman. Like that's like the basis of everything. Like, sorry, I'm coming like from a Christian angle and all that. Yeah, like because that's like ideally who we are as kingdom constituents. Like Miles Moreau will always say, in our constituency, like
Constitution.
For those that don't understand, like this is what our constitution says for layman language, that's and all of that. Like that's like necessarily like what should be our identity, and irrespective of like the things going on and all of that, that should be what we should like fight to hold on to. The reason why is it Ephesians 5 now that talks about like submission and all of that, and says that like wives submit to your husbands for they are the head of the house, even as Christ is. Sorry, I'm paraphrasing and all of that. But the correct order is God, man, woman, and submission in that context is not necessarily that you're superimposing your will and your intention and your desires on somebody. So don't be scared when they say submit to your husband or like submit to all of that. It's as good as saying that be able to sacrifice for this person. That's like submission in that sense. Like be able to give something for that person, not necessarily that you are all me. Like how can I work together as a woman with a man to ensure that in total submission we submit to God? And even Jesus was submitted, like, because he gave his life for all. Like that's like, it's that submission that made him say that, oh, I like Fokpe, and aside everything Fokpe can do or would have done, I will still die for Fokpe. That's pretty much it.
I think Pastor K was saying that submission actually is, to him, cooperation. Like that's what submission is.
Yeah.
And then
like me, you, God.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was also reading this book by is it Timothy Keller now? The Purpose of Marriage or the Meaning of Marriage?
I don't know that one.
Anyway, his wife wrote the chapter on submission, just to be fair, because hearing from a guy sometimes can be triggering. But she actually described it exactly how we've described it. And the idea is Jesus was God, right? He was equal to God.
Yeah.
And the same way woman is equal to man. But he did not consider that, how does Philippians put it again?
Didn't consider sin to be equal to God.
Yeah. So he chose to lay that down. It's not like he was forced to lay it down.
I can give you my all. I
can give you my life. Yeah. Right. So in that same way, the woman is called to submit to the man in that context.
Yeah.
So Mrs. Keller was saying, why was Jesus the one that was having to die? Why was it not God the Father? And she was like, we will never know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
it's just what it is. And so in the same way, when ladies ask, like, why do I have to submit? Actually, why is it like that? We may never have the answer as well.
But it's not just women that the Bible says to submit. I think there's also like a part in that Ephesians 5 that says that the men also should like submit themselves to their wives and all of that. So it's like both ways. Yeah. So both of you have to like submit and be willing to so one person has to be willing to bend for the other. I hope I don't go into trouble for this. So it's not necessarily saying that, oh, must he always have his way or must she always have her way? But one of my sisters puts it well, just be kind to one another. Like if you remember that you have to be kind to one another, it's easier to be able to say that I can let go of this. Jesus went to, I think I was hearing my mentor, Debola Dijikurumi. I don't know if you heard her speak. Sorry, yeah, smiling. Yeah, like I think, yeah. And she was sharing that if Jesus did not go to Gethsemane, we probably would not maybe have what we have now, because he went solely because it was hard in terms of like consecration and knowing his purpose. His sole purpose was just to come and die for me. Like God sent a man and his sole assignment was just to give his life for me. And he walked in that, and it got to the point when it was close and it was hard. Like I think Bible records that he was sweating and his sweat was like blood. Like this cup, like pass it, like let it pass over me, like just take it over me, like. And me thinking, I'm like, Jesus must have been like, this word is sweet, like, sorry, Lord. Like, can I stay a bit more? Like, does it have to be now? But because he had a deeper sense of identity and a deeper understanding of his assignment and his calling, he knew that he had to give his life for us. And the Bible, that chapter ends with him saying that, okay, like, not my will, but yours. Like, I'm ready. Like, I will do it. And it's also like, we should get to that point too as individuals to say that, is it hard to necessarily have to listen to someone else and somebody not necessarily superimposes his will on you, but tells you like, oh, this is what I want you to do, this is how I want you to do it. And you are fine with taking it. So it boils down to, if I can give my life to God and be submitted to say that you can tell me what you want me to do and
Mhm.
I'll do it. Like, I will take my time to listen to what you have me do. I will not just come to tell you that, oh, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what and I don't want to listen to what you have to say. So it's like we want to have the men to be able to say that I need money, I want this, I want that, but we don't want the side of where it says that, sis, I don't think you should do this now. Or I think let's do this after. But it's like two-way. I have to give myself to God. I have to let him know that, oh Lord, I love you and I'm ready to do what you want me to do. And I'm ready to give you my all. And aside that I'm ready to give you my all, I'm also ready to listen to what you want me to do.
Yeah.
So it's not a life of this is what I want to do and I'm fine with it. But understanding that there's like a bigger purpose. Like, I'm trying to put it in the perspective of God as man and me as female, and also in the perspective of having like a physical man and a physical woman. So if you see it as that perspective that men, like all human beings are spiritual beings, and a man, aside from being like a physical man, is also like a spiritual being and a representative of God. So being able to understand that, if aside from wanting the good life and everything, it's also important. It's not the bad life, like submitting and wanting like having like being chauvinistic and all of that. It's not like the bad life, but understanding that there's a balance that comes from it. It's not necessarily me. You can't always have your way. Like, you shouldn't live a life of just me and just for yourself. Like, live something bigger than you. Like, live a life that is bigger than who you are. Like, and all of that. So.
I couldn't have said it better myself, but I don't want us to make it just about marriage now.
Yeah. Sorry, because I'm just married.
No,
I'm serious. I don't know.
I'm happy
like,
that
I wasn't even planning to talk about like the fact that I'm married and all of that. I don't like when people do that thing, so I'm sorry.
You're married. It's a fact. It's a truth. So we can't run away from that. And I like that you've gone there, but let's step back a little now and just look from like the broader picture of how the world sees it. And then at the end we can try to tie it down. What God's perspective is for the world as well. Because God's perspective is not just for it's for the Christian home, right? But God wants
bigger
everybody
than
to have that same system. So you said that extreme feminism for you is that idea that we don't need men, like get rid of them. And one of my friends have said like there actually is a culture of putting down men these days. Like he says he goes to like feminism groups and meetings, and they're always happy to they have meetings like on universities and campuses and stuff like that.
Catch them young. No, God.
Exactly. And they're happy to ridicule men generally. And I think I agree with you there that's just totally wrong. Like, no human being should.
It shouldn't come to that. Like, you should be able to state what you want and state your ideologies without trying to put the other party down.
Exactly.
Like, the old basis of feminism was that everybody has equal rights. So yes, I think I saw like an illustration where I don't know what this thing was being celebrated, but in terms of like, should we say like equal rights or like equal leverage? So because you can't, how do I put this now? In terms of like I saw a picture of like a child and I think an adult, and they had like pedestals of like different things. So it tries to explain like the equality and the inequality kind of things. And I'm trying to like find the word equity. So how I understand it is that, would there be instances where one party has more than the other? Yes, there might be. And in those instances, what are we fighting for? So for instance, in the workplace, you're fighting that a woman is able to also rise to a place of senior leadership. I've never had any issue of, say, feminism or feminist or so. But when I hear others say it, I'm like, Really? Oh, really? I have like when Chimamanda was talking about, oh, like you give someone money and they look at like your
The
male
husband and say
counterpart and
thank
they
you.
say, thank you, guy. It looked normal to us growing up, yeah.
Yeah.
But now you're like, might as well thank me. Well, I grew up around environments where if you did that, like the male counterparts would be
We'll
like,
say,
it's not me that
yeah,
gave you,
exactly.
it's madam that gave you, better say thank you to her, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it was not necessarily, to be fair, probably I'm biased because I grew up in an environment where
The men
my
knew.
like the women in my life were well elevated,
Mm-hmm.
and there was not a time when I felt like they were
Mm-hmm.
like below the man and all of that. Did I have brothers that maybe were told not to do house chores and all of that? Maybe sometimes. Did I have sisters that were told not to do house chores? Yeah, sometimes. So there was a balance. And there was always a reason for somebody not having to do something. Yeah, like it wasn't necessarily because
Of their gender.
this person is better than you, or I've heard people say that, oh, you can't, because you're a girl, you can't. Oh, I've had friends that they've wanted to get jobs and the management has said, oh, okay, you give me something in exchange. And I'm like, how? Like, why? You just want to help. Like, you want to give me a job. Give me a job. Does it have to matter that I'm female?
Yeah.
And the truth is that it's not just women that face this also. Men also like face that same issues. Because we kind of, it's a bit maxed because we feel that a man should be able to handle his pain and a man should be able to mask his feelings. He should be man enough, man up, and
Suck it
all
up.
of that. But they also go through like that same bias when not even necessarily with like female bosses, even with like male bosses, you're kind of put down and you probably don't feel like you're enough. And with female bosses, you're kind of like, oh, you're a fine boy. Like, how can we help you? Like, let's help you. You rub my back, I rub your back, and all of that. So it's just boils down to being nice to one another and understanding that the challenges and the trials of my gender, the other gender too has that same
Their own
challenges and
challenges.
trials. Yeah. And just understanding that like what you see might not like all of it. And we have to like consciously like take steps back sometimes to not be like quick to answer or quick to speak.